Hello, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and MPD by somebody that has both. If you like the video, then don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to get all the other videos, because that's how YouTube works. Also, there's some social things scrolling past on the screen where you can follow me and share my posts if you like. Thank you to everybody who does that. So, today, it's time to share with you the tale of the pink bike. Now, the world that this tale takes place in is very different from, what month is it? Lockdown 2020. It's September still, probably, is it? 2020. So we're going all the way back to sort of 1991, 1992. And the world was a very different place. And I had just had my bike stolen. It was tragic. It had been stolen out of the garage at home. Dad got a padlock for it after that, but it was too late. My Rally Mustang had been stolen. This was 1991-92. This was the age of the mountain bike. Muddy Fox was king. The tyres had little fox prints on them. But I didn't have one. I had the Rally Mustang, an equally awesome but much cheaper bike. And it was stolen from the garage. Then it became time to replace it. Okay? Your bike was everything when you were a kid. Do kids still ride bikes? Or do they just vape? I don't... It became time to replace my bike because I needed one. And I had a paper round. And I had a really long paper round that was not my decision to get. We'll have little insights into my childhood and perhaps where the BPD comes from. That wasn't my idea to have the really, really long paper round, which was famous for being the paper round that went the furthest from the paper shop. So I needed a bike to do this on, otherwise it was going to take 6 hours and my entire day. And since my bike had been stolen, my dad had been driving me round the paper round, or my mum had been doing it, and that lasted about a week before that was no good. Get him a damn bike. So we picked out the bike and went to the shop to get the bike. I remember it was a Peugeot mountain bike. I can't remember whether that was meant to be a good one or what. By the way, never ridden a bike on a fucking mountain. Didn't do that. Rode a bike around Doncaster. That's what I did because that was it. And then eventually you learn to drive, and then I never went on a bike again. That's horrible, isn't it? I think I might have not ridden a bike since I was 18, but that's by the by. The bike was in the shop, sort of. See, the bike came in 2 available paint colours. One was a very nice jet black with black lettering on that you could see. It was like pearlescent. It was very cool. And the other one was fuchsia pink with bright yellow lettering on. And it's kind of like a really bright Barbie pink. It's kind of the pink that makes you gasp to look at. It's not just pink, it's pink. Okay? Now, I had a choice. I could either have the pink bike and ride the pink bike home right there and then, or I could wait 2 weeks for the black bike. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, this isn't 2020 this was taking place in. This was 1991-ish, from what I remember. The idea of being a 12-year-old boy riding around on a pink bike in the north of England in 1991 was not an inviting and warm one. It was not something that would end well for me, if you can imagine. Thank God the world is a very different place now. And in actual fact, it was kind of a cool coloured pink bike, and I would ride that bike now. But in 1991, this was the pink girl's bike of shame. That was how it worked. Anything with pink on it was for girls. Anything that wasn't pink was for everybody else. Because colour. So I got the pink bike. And I suffered the name calling and all of the jeers and the shouting and all of the things that went with it, until that bike itself was indeed stolen from outside of the paper shop one morning at 5:30, as I was writing the addresses on newspapers to drive miles away from where I lived. But as I look back and think about that decision that I made, there was no way that I wasn't going to take the bike that I rode home that day. I'm the kid that eats the single marshmallow instead of waiting for 2 in 5 minutes' time. That's me. You've heard about that one. You take a kid and you say, here's a marshmallow. You can have this one right now. But if you don't take this one right now, you can have 2 in about 5 minutes. What do you want to do? And some kids take the marshmallow and some kids don't. They wait and they get 2 because they can sit and wait for 2 minutes. But I'm a take the marshmallow kind of kid. And it turns out that this is kind of a bit of a BPD thing. That it's not just... You get a lot of this written. If you look up on the internet, BPD and rushing, you'll get hundreds of articles about rushing into relationships, about falling in love quickly and all of that stuff, which is a very real thing and very true. But in my own experience, it also applies to pretty much every aspect of my entire life. I will rush and do everything as quickly as possible. I want to get everything done right now. Especially if there's a thing I think is a good idea, then I really, really, really need to get it done right away, because everything has to be rushed. And that applies even when I'm getting angry about stuff and I just want to shout at people and get it out of me. That rushing. And this is what led me to that bit of advice that I've always tried to give you. Don't do anything. Don't rush. It's so difficult not to rush, not to want to just get on with things, and being held back becomes such a frustrating experience. And, that's something that I've struggled a lot with during lockdown as a whole. That for me, life was starting to get better. And then suddenly this wall comes down and everything stops and everything becomes sheltered and stay at home and everything like that. No more rushing. In some ways, that's actually been of benefit to me. It's slowed me down. It's given me time to think about things that I wasn't thinking about. I wonder if other people have had that same experience, actually. It's not been all bad. The enforced slowdown is frustrating, but at the end of the day, it stops me doing things that might have otherwise been the wrong decision. Who am I kidding? Most things are the wrong decision. What? Because of all the good decisions I make, right? Yeah. So that pink bike and the fun that was made of me afterwards taught me a couple of important lessons. First of all, some things are just pink. It is... Fuck off with that. And second of all, I would go through what I deemed pain and suffering at the time just to not have to wait that 2 weeks to get that bike. I mean, and what did I care? I was being driven around my paper round, right? That's luxury, isn't it? The most annoying thing about that is that I have to be there at all. Can't they just go in and do that then? If they're driving around it anyway, can't they just go in and get the papers? And that seems so much easier. And then I have to breathe less diesel fumes running around the car at 5:30 in the morning. I can't believe they made me do that. That was, and in winter I fell off on ice so much. But I fell off on that pink bike because I just couldn't wait anymore. I'm like this now. I'll have the thing I don't really want just to get something. That instant gratification, that trying to feel good, that little dopamine hit that I'm absolutely desperate for at any time. If I know I'm doing it, I can deflect it onto something else. or try and be a bit more sensible. We're coming up to turmoil over my phone season, by the way. That's always a good one. Don't know what's going to happen there yet, but it's going to involve whatever I can get my hands on at the time. That's what worries me. I don't want to make rash decisions and get the wrong thing, something that I don't really want. I would get the thing that's in stock just so I don't have to wait to get the thing that's going to be in stock in a week. So try and slow down if you can. I don't know how. Like I say, sometimes I sort of manage it a little bit. Maybe. But practice, people. Practice. So yeah, don't rush. Some things are pink. Remember not to leave the heating on and make your recording studio really damn hot before you start a video. And also, so the foam things don't fall off the wall where they're supposed to be behind your head. So, that's the thing. Anyway, you take care. I'll see you later. Bye.